building collapse in West Houston. Again, Houston Fire Department responding to a report of collapse at a construction site at Town and Country Boulevard. Again, this is right in front of the frontage, right off the frontage road of the Katy Freeway, right at the Sam Houston Tollway. For some perspective of this area, just to the south of this building, there is the Alexan City Center. That's an apartment complex. And then to the south of this is where we know there are many restaurants and establishments in this area. Again, we are hearing reports from Houston Fire that 3 people have died and 1 person has been transported to the hospital following a collapse at a construction site. Our Andy Sirota is live at the scene right now. He just got onto the property there. Do you want to check in with him for the very latest? Andy?
Christine, good afternoon. You can see behind me, police have cordoned off this area so the investigation can begin. I want to bring in Chris, who's a worker who's been out here since 7 o'clock this morning. He had just gotten back from lunch, was up on the 11th floor, then came down to the ground floor to unload some materials from a truck. You want to pick it up from there in terms of what you felt, what you saw, and what you heard?
Yeah, no problem. I was on the 11th floor, and they just called us. They told us to come down and unload some materials. I went down. As soon as I got down, started unloading materials. Out of nowhere, I hear a loud banging sound, and it sounded like a building was collapsing, which I checked out. It didn't happen, but all I saw was the parking building, because we were on low. We were very close to the parking building. All you see was a bunch of smoke, and yeah.
What did you do right after that? That moment that you felt the ground shake, and then you looked and saw smoke everywhere. What went through your mind, and how did you respond to that?
I got away. I moved far away from the building because I didn't know. I thought something like, which I was kind of right, something did fell, was the back stairs of the building from all the way from the 14th floor. I'm pretty sure went all the way down. So
how many of your colleagues were inside of that building when the collapse happened?
Mostly everybody, because I was one of the first people down to unload. Like, everybody else was still up there around the 13th floor and all the way down. So
can you talk to me about some of the work that was being done on the 13th floor in that area of the building?
Yeah, so for our company, we installed like AC ducts. So they were doing a bunch of hangers, and they were still putting the stairs for the back side of the building, what I know so far, like concrete stairs.
Any reports from your perspective of injuries or fatalities, anything that you've been told by your company or some of your colleagues?
What I heard so far is that it was 3 people that was involved with it. 2 of them died. 1 guy was on the 12th floor and he fell with the stairs. I'm not sure about the other person that died, and 1 guy is injured. That's all I know so far.
Give us a sense, on a typical day, how many workers would be here involved in this project on this scene?
Probably around, I'm going to go with a big guess, probably around like 300 or 400 people a day that are here. Because most of the time it's around like close to 15 people on every single floor, mostly. So I'm not really too sure, but.
And after you saw the smoke, I mean, you were fairly close to the scene.
Yes, sir.
Were you told to get back and to move and to evacuate the area?
After, when it just happened, yeah. But once I just heard it and I saw the smoke, my initial reaction was get away from it. Luckily, my boss or my foreman was right next to me. I told him, I was like, hey, something just happened. So he told me to get out, get far away from the building.
And I'm just going to have my photographer here, Giovanni, zoom into some of the rubble that we can see back there. Just for our viewers, do you want to describe to me what we're looking at back there?
Yeah, so that's all of the stairs for the back floor, and all these stairs go all the way up to the 14th. So that's all the back stairs. They all went down at the same time.
And you talk about the work that was being done there. How long had you been working in that particular area around the 14th floor? How long had that work been going on for?
I'm really not sure. They kind of do a new floor like almost every week. They always have it done, but I think I'm pretty sure it was a malfunction that happened. Sorry if I say that kind of wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened here. I'm not sure. my big guess, because, you know, most of the time they're trying to make sure everything's stable and right and move to the next floor.
But certainly that'll be part of the investigation. How far along was the work that was being done there? How far along were crews in terms of completing the work that they were out here to do?
I'm not sure, to be honest, sir. For the stairs, or you mean like for the whole project?
For the stairs.
I'm pretty sure they got pretty close, because the building is 16 floors and they made it to the 14th till it collapsed. So.
Have you been able to touch base with some of your colleagues who you've been on site with here today? Have you been able to touch base with everyone? Do you know who may be injured? And
I don't know the people who got injured, but so far, whoever I know from my people's company, everybody's good, everybody's safe. Thank God for that. I pray for the person who got injured, and I pray for the people who lost somebody today. You know.
Well, certainly we're glad that you're okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate your time, Chris. Thank you so much. Still a lot of moving pieces to this in terms of the investigation that's underway. Obviously, this area has been sealed off to the media and to any onlookers. You can see Houston fire truck there just in the distance, a couple of firefighters here as well as the investigation into what caused this collapse now gets underway. Christine, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, Andy, we appreciate that update from the scene there in West Houston. We appreciate it. Just to wrap this up and give you some more perspective, we are following a partial building collapse in Town and Country Boulevard at I-10, again in West Houston. This is Marathon Oil's new office building that is under construction. We have learned from Houston Fire Department that 3 people are dead. 1 person was transported to the hospital. We don't know their condition at this hour. This is still a very active scene and an active investigation. Again, Houston Fire Department responding to reports of this construction collapse. This is at Town and Country near the Katy Freeway. A live look from Sky 2. Again, 3 people have lost their lives. 1 person is injured. From the view that we're getting right now, it looks like at least 1 floor has collapsed onto the floor below. So again, we've confirmed this is Marathon Oil's new office building that is currently under construction. We will bring you the very latest updates on air and online at click2houston.com.